Many of us have been in this exact situation.
You open up an old, dusty dining room cabinet, reach past the everyday coffee mugs, and pull out a delicate, gold-rimmed teacup that belonged to a grandmother. Looking at the heavy gold bands and intricate floral patterns, your first instinct is to assume it holds serious value. It looks fussy, dated, and expensive. Before you call an auction house, let's be realistic. You almost certainly do not own a $36 million Ming Dynasty artifact. Only about a dozen of those exist anywhere on Earth. But the gap between a cup you'd sell for $10 and one that commands $2,000 is hiding right in plain sight. This comparison shows where people get distracted. On the left is the aesthetic promise, the pretty pattern and gold rim. On the right is the technical practice, the plain stamp hidden underneath. A teacup's true financial worth is dictated almost entirely by those obscure technical markers on the bottom. If you want to find out what a piece is worth, you have to realize that appearance keeps lying to you. Turn over almost any teacup, and you'll likely see the words "bone china" stamped in ink. Your heart might jump, assuming those two words guarantee high market value. They don't. Bone china is simply a standardized material recipe. It tells you exactly what the cup is made of, but it adds absolutely nothing to the monetary worth. Tens of millions of $10 cups carry that exact label. The ultimate example of this fame trap in the antique market is Royal Albert's Old Country Roses. It features deep red flowers and a thick band of gold, making it a pattern almost everyone recognizes. This chart shows exactly why fame destroys value. While rare antiques have incredibly low production volumes, Old Country Roses saw a towering output of over 150 million pieces. Because the whole world already owns one, the ordinary pieces trade for the price of a cheap lunch. The only versions that carry a real premium are the earliest English-made runs produced strictly between 1962 and 1974, before production moved overseas. Mass recognition guarantees oversupply. The items everyone instantly recognizes on a shelf are almost never the ones worth real money. Since famous labels don't guarantee a payday, we have to look closely at structural geometry. In 1930, an art director named Eric Slater designed a cup for Shelley china that threw out the traditional rules of tableware. Look closely at these cups. Slater created the Vogue shape, pure, sharp Art Deco geometry, featuring a solid triangular handle. You have to hook a finger around the slab instead of passing it through a loop. To a modern eye, it looks bizarre and non-functional. That intentionally odd aesthetic was highly controversial. The Vogue shape arrived in 1930 and was discontinued by 1933. That strict 3-year production window created a fixed supply, driving valuations for rare patterns on this shape up to £2,500. Physical texture is just as important. If you find an Ainsley cup painted with fruit, hold it under a lamp and run your thumb across the surface. You are feeling for tiny, uneven ridges where the artist's brush loaded and lifted. Those ridges prove the piece was painted by hand, one at a time. In contrast, a cheap, mass-produced printed transfer sits completely dead and flat under your finger.
Families routinely donate the odd, angular cups because they call them ugly, while keeping the pretty, mass-produced ones. Overriding your instinct to judge a cup by its traditional beauty is a mandatory skill for finding rare assets. Once you check the shape, direct your attention straight to the bottom of the cup. If you have a paragon piece, heavy with gold and roses, check the mark to see if it carries 2 distinct royal crowns. Between 1939 and 1949, Paragon held 2 royal warrants simultaneously. If your cup's stamp reads, "By appointment to Her Majesty the Queen," and Her Majesty Queen Mary, that double crown places the piece into a highly specific 10-year historical window. This timeline shows how to read origin text to date a cup, driven by shifts in British export laws. If the stamp says England, it was made after 1891. But if it expands to Made in England, you are holding something produced after 1921. You must read the maker's mark letter by letter. Because Wedgwood commands high prices, counterfeiters rely on buyers rushing their appraisal. A genuine piece is spelled Wedgwood. The fakes trap you by adding an extra E in the middle. Finally, run a fingertip directly over the stamp itself. If you feel a deliberate factory-drilled hole or a filed scratch cut straight through the ink, that piece is a factory second. It is a flawed run, and its market value drops instantly. Most people flip a cup, see a jumble of symbols, and put it right back down. But that jumble is a signed, dated, verifiable timeline of value that casual sellers completely ignore. High market value relies on the material synergy between multiple pieces designed to sit together. Take a plain white Lenox china liner tucked inside a sterling silver holder and physically pull the pieces apart. A matched set of 12 can sell for over $8,000. Separating them leaves only silver for scrap weight. The same logic dictates cup and saucer sets. To verify a true match, the pattern numbers painted under the glaze must be identical, and the gold rim must have faded to the exact same degree on both pieces. If a saucer fits perfectly but the wear patterns or backstamps disagree, you are looking at a marriage. That is the antique dealer's term for two mismatched pieces put together to deceive a novice buyer. Preserving the completeness of a set protects its compound collector's worth. Splitting up a matched pair destroys the premium and drags the price straight to the bottom. Now that you know the rules, you can apply them directly to the cup sitting in your own cabinet. This matrix shows you exactly how to process your collection. Every evaluation starts at the very top. Turn the cup over. If you are a casual inheritor just trying to clear out space, check the bottom and feel the rim. If it says made in England and lacks any unique geometric handles or hand-painted ridges, you can safely donate it without worrying you gave away a fortune. But if you are a thrift flipper hunting for high returns, ignore the aesthetic florals entirely. Look through a magnifying glass and hunt exclusively for structural anomalies, like the Shelley Vogue handle, or verified historical overlaps, like the Paragon double crown. Market value ignores the floral patterns on the front in favor of the technical data on the base. To know what a piece is worth, you must flip it completely upside down.
So, the next time you're decluttering your space or packing up a donation box, take a second look. Just because an item seems obsolete, outdated, or just plain ugly, doesn't mean it belongs in the trash or the giveaway pile. You might be tossing out serious value without even realizing it. Be careful, look past the surface, and always check the details before you let something go. If this video saved you, hit that like button and subscribe for more tips.